or in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Hence, that's all the whole change.
That's why it was moved to 7.
Yes.
He didn't even ask that.
Okay, Zok the Mishnah. We are on, I guess we're not doing Mishnahs tonight. Okay. We are, yes, today's daf is Kuf Yud Tes, but we're starting Kuf Yud Chesam Beis. Yeah, the Mishnah. 4 lines down, the first Mishnah. Hamaitzi Zevel Rishus Harabim. If somebody puts out manure into Rishus Harabim, Hamaitzi Maitzi, V'Mazavel Mazavel. The one who brings it out, and the one that's going to use it is going to use it. Meaning you can't, it has to be an immediate handoff. You take it from one, and you, meaning the guy puts it out, and then you go, and then you take, and then you puts it out, and then he's got to remove it. And meaning, and if not, then you're going to be responsible for people that get damaged by it. All right. Ain Shirin Tit Rishus Harabim. You're not allowed to soak mud in Rishus Harabim.
Other items may be left in Rishus Harabim, and I can be mazik on them, but this one I can't. Why is this different than any other thing that I would put in Rishus?
No, you're not. You're not allowed to put things in Rishus Harabim. If your wall fell, right? If your wall fell.
Why is this any different?
I don't think it is any different.
It's not different. So why are we bringing up Zevel?
I think we're just telling you that because I think based on the Gemara, because Zevel you put into the street. That's the way some people did it. So he's saying you can't. Okay. You can't. Well, we'll have to see those that are chaylik on it. Anyways.
Ain't showing tit.
Yes, ain't showing tit Rishus Harabim. You're not allowed to soak tit in Rishus Harabim. They ain't loivnim levanim, and you levanim. I'm sorry, and you can't make bricks in the Rishus Harabim. Right? Meaning you leave them out in the, they have to dry, so you can't leave them Rishus Harabim. Of a goivlin tit Rishus Harabim, but you are allowed to knead it, right? In order to, meaning if you're gonna, you're making bricks to put it into the walls.
So the trucks you're allowed to do that in the street. Those are allowed. The trucks are allowed.
Correct.
They're not allowed to make the bricks in there.
It's not. Yeah. That's yeah. Avaloi levanim, but not. I keep saying levanim. Levanim again. Like I said it the other day. Levanim is white. Levanim is bricks. Right, but you can't do bricks because that's a whole much longer process. Habayna Rishus Harabim. For all those that are out there and are local, there's lots of food over here that you're gonna have plenty of food. So I don't want to make the island that's not local jealous, but you should come. But Habayna Rishus Harabim, somebody who builds in Rishus Harabim, maybe there's like one right there. Habayna Rishus Harabim. If anybody builds in Rishus Harabim, maybe Avanim, maybe. Meaning the guy who's bringing same Gemara. The guy, if you're building Rishus Harabim, so the brick delivery has to, when he brings it, then you got to immediately put it in there, which is not the way. I think you don't we see construction sites take over the street? They did it today on Reed's Lane. I'm saying they put the piles of bricks on the street or on the sidewalk. Hizik Mashalem Masha Hizik, and if it damages,
they put it out on the street,
and they leave it there. Yeah, but is that legal? Is that legal?
I'm in Washington Heights. You have on St. Nicholas. You have bricks that go in the building, sit in the middle of the street.
I'm saying, is that legal or is that they must get a permit? I guess. Yeah. How about the sukkah, building the sukkah into the street? That's a shayla.
You get a ticket. You have to remove it in 30 days.
Oh, that's mamash next sheet coming up.
You have to remove it in 30 days. Right.
Okay, so Vim Hizik Mashalim Masha Hizik.
A lot of times they give you 7 days, but they tell you on the second day. So by the time the 7 days is up, it's over.
Oh, so that's what we have to see. So for him, Hizik Mashalim Masha Hizik. If he damaged, then he pays what he damaged. Shimon Gamliel Omer Af Masakin Hu Es Malachtoi Lefnei Shloshim Yoim. He can prepare his malacha even before 30 days, meaning. Not even, meaning he could. You have 30 days.
Storing the materials there.
You're allowed to put your malacha there for 30 days. So you're saying New York City paskins like from Shimon Gamliel. Yeah.
Well, okay. With COVID, you have to get outdoor seating permits.
All right.
The whole permit process.
You have to. So turn it on. Leah Masnisen, it just makes a lot of noise.
It doesn't look like it, by the way. By the time they get here, it's over.
All right, so Leah Masnisen the Gemara, frek the Gemara. Leah Masnisen like Rabbi Yehuda. Let's say the Mishnah is like Rabbi Yehuda. Tani Rabbi Yehuda. The Shas Paitzas Zvalim. When you put out the zevel, Adam might see zivla Rishus Harabim. A person could put out his menorah into Rishus Harabim, but Tzayvrei Kol Shloshim Yom, and he could pile it up for all 30 days. We have another member. He only has to listen on the recording. Okay. so that it'll be stepped on by the ragli adam ragli behema. Shalmanaskein hilchli Yeshua Yisrael. That was one of the tanaim. There were a bunch of tanaim that Yeshua gave to the yin to do, meaning permissions, what they're allowed to do in Eretz Yisrael. So one of them was that you're allowed to put your zevel out into the street, and it's going to become zevel by people stepping all over it. So you see Rabbi Yehuda holds that you're allowed to leave your zevel out in the street, your menorah out in the street for 30 days. My answer is afilu time Rabbi Yehuda. We could even say it's Rabbi Yehuda. Ma'id Rabbi Yehuda shem hizik chayiv l'shalem. Rabbi Yehuda's ma'id that if it damages you chayiv l'mishalem. Meaning that's a hava. The Gemara is going to change this. The Gemara is thinking right now that Rabbi Yehuda holds you could put it out there for 30 days, but at your own risk. Meaning if a guy is having a bad day, you mean you have permission to do it, but
what is permission to do it? But if it's hezek, what does that mean?
Meaning you're allowed to put it out there. You have permission to put it out there, but you're going to be responsible for your actions. Yeah.
Tomorrow. What's with all this food? We'll let you join. You join finishing now, and Bava Basha starting tomorrow.
There we go. Okay. There goes our attempt at recruiting.
You do a better job than the announcer.
You did the same job and you were free. Yeah. Meaning he allows it, but he's telling you it's not smart. It's just not a smart idea.
It's not smart. You're chayiv. You're going to be
right. So Rashi,
so
Rashi says it's an eitza toiva.
And if I told you, and if he said that it was usur, that means you'd have to pay. And if you say you're mutter, but you have to pay. So what's the difference? What's the difference? I don't see the difference. Whatever.
You want the air conditioner?
Whatever the guys want, I don't care.
Some say yes, some say
no. Just the noise of it is just.
I don't understand that, but whatever. Go for it.
What the noise or
no? I don't understand what it means.
No, so the question is.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, so it's l'chayri. He's telling you can do it. You have that ability to do it, and listen, a guy might need to do it. A guy might need to.
And if you told me it was usher, so then even if I needed to do it, I couldn't do it.
Correct.
No, because generally it's usher to be mazik. Over here, there's no isser. Just if you want to pay, you can pay. But generally, I'm not allowed to be mazik in general.
Right.
The shaila what the isser is, but you're not allowed to do it.
Allowed to be mazik, but I have to pay.
Don't we have a Gemara in Bava Kama? Place can be by Sam, but may I
why you not sure? That what?
That's this Mishnah. That's what we're talking about. This is the same.
Don't we have that?
What are you saying, Reb Dov?
In Bava Kama, we have place can be by Sam, but may I that they have permission to let it out.
Right.
We have this already.
You mean but that I think is you're leaving it there, no? I mean in the winter.
You're leaving it there. So why is it? Yeah. So it doesn't say that the chayiv if somebody hurts themselves over there.
Right. So that's a Gemara. That's Taisvus Kasha. That's Taisvus Kasha.
Starting Bava Basha tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
Taisvus says Taisvus in the Torah. It's exactly what he's Taisvus is saying. You're Kasha. Taisvus is saying that. This is talking about not during that zman, but enochanami during that zman. He's asking the Rebbe is asking that. It says in Bava Kama you're allowed to put your junk out. That's only during the rainy season. It's only during the rainy season.
The Megishamim, that's what it says. Yeah.
Correct. So this is talking about not in the Megishamim.
When did we switch it? We started out the time reviewed of every shas in the season when it was put out. When did we switch to not the season?
No.
We're talking about the shas. And that's what the price is talking about. So we're talking about in the season.
He's talking about. I don't know if the mission is talking about that. Let's get to the Maskonas HaGemara, and then we'll see. So anyway, so we're trying to say this interesting territory, Rabbi Yehuda, you're allowed to put it out, but it's at your own risk, right? Meaning, if you put a bar into Rosh Hashanah, are you ever on an Isser even if nobody gets damaged from it? Now we're getting into lumbus.
Okay, so
are you ever on an Isser if you put a damaging thing out and nothing happens?
Oh, nothing. Okay, now. Okay.
No, you left your wall that fell. No one got damaged.
Correct. So are you over on an Isser of putting a damage into Rosh Hashanah? Right. So that's enough convenience.
That's the difference between that and this being mutter. Just you're going to be chayav to pay.
Right. You're certainly
not allowed to do it. There's no issue for me leaving it there. Somebody got damaged, then I have to pay. As opposed to a bar where you could be chayav immediately.
If someone digs a bar,
Okay.
Rishus Harabim
He's
no
made a
mitzvah?
bar Rishus Haram. I don't know. I don't remember what we come out, but that's
What do
probably
you
part
find?
of it. That's probably part of it.
What do you find?
Do you like a chair?
No, I.
Yeah, okay. But Tanan, okay, so let's see.
I'm not gonna
Biden.
go for
So
the
when I
ladder
asked, but
down.
Tanan, but we learned that the Mishnah, Maida Rabbi Yehuda ben Ner Chanukah, Shu
Oh,
Potter. Rabbi
doesn't
Yehuda's
get it.
Maida by Ner Chanukah that you Potter. Right? We had this a few times. So you take a menorah and you put it out. You put it outside, right? You're supposed to light the menorah by the door. So you put it out by the door. Because the reason why you're Potter is because you're putting the menorah out the Bereshus, even though a camel may go by and all the flax on the camel may light up. My love, Rishus Bezdin. So what does it mean? It means Rishus Bezdin. And this is talking about Rabbi Yehuda. And he says that you're Potter, right? But because it's a Rishus Bezdin. Yeah. So now the Gemara says, Loi, Rishus the mitzvah. It's not because of Rishus Bezdin. It's Rishus of the mitzvah. A mitzvah has a special din, right? So Gemara says, all these things that it says that you're allowed to destroy Rishus Harabim, of which one of them is putting out the zevel. If you damages, you have to pay. For Rabbi Yehuda, pater. And Rabbi Yehuda says pater. Right? So this is talking about even. This is talking about even something that's mutter, right? Meaning something that's not even, something that's mutter, you're going to be potter for. Ella machvarta masnisan like Rabbi Yehuda. So we go back and say our Mishnah is not like Rabbi Yehuda, right? Meaning Rabbi Yehuda holds you're allowed to put it out there, and the Mishnah holds that you're not allowed. I mean, you're allowed to put it out there, but it has to be immediately removed, right? Okay, so it's a machlokes. Fine. Amar Abaya, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi Shimon. So you have Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi Shimon Kulu Sviru L'Kol Makom Shenasnu Like Chacham Rishus Behizik Potter. Anytime the Chachamim gave you Rishus to do something and it damaged, it's Potter, right? Which David, ultimately, what you're saying is correct, right? If you have permission, then you're Potter. Rabbi Yehuda Hadamar. Rabbi Yehuda is what we said. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, the time Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Aimer Af Masakin, who was Malachta L'Fnei Shloshim Yaim. He could be masakin his malacha 30 days. That's the end of our mission. So he holds that you're allowed to keep your mud or whatever manure in Shisaram. Shimon the Tanan hayamamida ba'aliyah. If this time if you put an oven in the upper floor, you need to have a what do you call it?
Layer of plastic.
Yeah, maziva is we're gonna have in Bava Basra. It's got to be thick. Whatever you're putting has got to be 3 tvachim thick in order to hold up the. You don't want the oven collapsing or destroying the guy's floor under you. Ubekira tefach, but it's a kira which is much smaller. All you need is a tefach. V'im hizik, and if it damaged, mashali masha hizik. So even though you have permission, but if it damaged, then you pay what you damaged. They didn't say all these shiurim only to tell you that if it damaged, you're potter. So you see, Reb Shimon holds, and when you have permission to put the oven there, then you are going to be potter. So those are the 3 shitas with that. That hold that when something's mutter for you to do, there's no way you're going to be chayav. Tanraban, achatzav shemasar l'satas. If you have, this is a whole chadgad, A chatzav is the guy that takes the rocks off the mountain. What do we call it?
Quarry.
Yeah,
Quarry guy.
that's what it says
There
here.
you go.
Quarry.
Okay. So achatzav shemasar l'satas. He hands it over to the sates, to the guy that Does anybody know we have masates? Yom Kippur davening by Yom Kippur night.
Yeah.
One of the mashalim of what we are in Hashem's hands is that one. Yeah. Hasatis. So once he hands it over to the satis, and then the damage happens, the satis chayiv. Then the satis is chayiv. Hasatis shemasa l'chamar, and then the satis hands it over to the wagon driver, the donkey driver. Then it damages hachamar chayiv. Hachamar shemasa l'kasef. Then the donkey driver hands it over to whichever guy is going to carry it, l'kasef. Shemasa l'kasef. Hakasef chayiv. Then the kasef is going to be chayiv. Hakasef shemasa l'banai. If he gives it over to the builder, a benai chayiv. The benai is chayiv. A benai shemasa l'adrichel. If he hands it over to the adrichel, is the end of the line. He's the guy that lays the bricks. Adrichel chayiv. Then adrichel is chayiv. So meaning once you hand it off to the next guy and he leaves in a Rishus Harabim, then he's going to be the responsible one. Right? Vim hiniach even al hadimus. But if he puts the stone on top of the building, is he going to damage it? Kulam chayavim shalim. Then everybody is chayiv to pay.
Why are they all chayiv? I thought we passed it over. Each one is
chayiv
and then done when he hands it over to the next guy.
So that's the chayr that, even though it doesn't sound like that's the Gemara's next kasha, but Tanya Acharin chayiv, the last guy's chayiv, but kulam peturin. It doesn't really say that in this brisa, but l'chayr, that's what the brisa means. It always goes with the last guy, not the other guys are not. What do they have to do with it? I mean, you can see this happening at work. The lawsuit comes in, and they go bring the lawsuit to the last guy, the first, and then they sue everybody. So the first guy, what does that have to do with me? Because the delivery guy left the bricks outside, right? But you sue everybody because why not? Right? You sue anybody, right? You throw them all in there, right? So that, so kulam peturin. So that's true.
Everybody likes the last guy because he's whatever. It's like Saginar.
I hear that. So anyway, so Vakul and Badun, they're all potter. So we have a stira like Kasha, Kambe Schiros, Kambe Kablonos. One is talking about Schiros, where each one is hired individually, which is, I think, what happens.
Well, you're not
nowadays. You're hiring one contractor, but he's subcontracting.
Right.
So Schiros l'chayr is subcontracting. To each guy's got his own deal going. Kablanos, meaning if you go sue the kablan, so then everybody, if it's a kablan and he hires all the workers himself, so then l'chayr you can go after everybody. But if each one is hired individually, so then you can't go after each one is considered a separate entity. Right? Anyways, kamba Schiros, kamba kablanos. Fine. Okay, zok the Mishnah. Shtei ganois, if you have two gardens, zu al gav zu, one on top of the other. Yerek ben time, the yerek is in between them. So thanks to Shmuley Sugar, I can have a way to understand this. Is you have it's like steps. Right? You see this when you drive around Eretz Yisrael. You see sometimes it's like made in steps in the mountain. Right? So you have one garden here.
They're terraces. It's called terraces.
Terrace. There you go.
It's very popular in Venezuela, if you remember. Oh, that's your father.
That's yes. I was.
You have a picture of it? You can send around.
Do I have a picture of a terrace?
No, this case that you could send around.
No, it's just steps.
I
understand it as steps. That's all it is. It's a step. The riser is the thing that goes from one step to the other. That's that, right? So it's growing out of the riser.
Oh, it goes on the steps. No, it goes on the steps.
What do you mean? No, it's on the riser. This case is talking about it's on the riser.
How can it be the riser? That's a vertical. The riser is vertical.
Yes, it's growing out of the side.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay.
It's been
not crops that they're planting. The yerek beinayim, the vegetables between them, is on the riser. They're growing stuff on the step.
Well, I'm surprised anything grows there. Okay, fine, all right. Okay.
Anyways, it's growing out of the side. So the question is, who's responsible for that? Meaning, is it the top step or the bottom step? That's the shayla. Rameir Omer Shel Elyon, and it belongs. It's not responsible. Who does it belong to? So Rameir says it belongs to the upper step. Again, I'm just calling it step for clarity's sake. Yehuda Omer Shel Tachten. Yehuda says it belongs to the lower step. So Amar Rameir, Im Yirtza Elyon Likach is Afrei. If the top guy wants to take his dirt, right? Ein kan yerek. There's no vegetable. Meaning, if the guy on the top, what do you call it? A terrace, right? On the top terrace, if he takes away all his dirt, right, then it's going to, these things are not going to grow anymore. Again, it's growing out of the side. So if he takes this dirt, all belongs to him. So he takes his dirt away. There's nothing. There's no more. It's gone. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. If the lower guy fills up his garden with dirt and he squares it off to his neighbor, then he's not going to have anything to grow. And Kanyarik, then only have Eric. So who gets the who is the more powerful one? So that's a machlekes, and the machlekes continues. Amar Meir, since they both can make a mach on each other, so just look to see where it's going from. Right? So they must be not this. I don't really understand so well, but if they say it must be growing from the upper one, why? I don't know. I guess if it's growing out of the side, right? Basically, it's how do you say? How would we do this? Should take the cake. The cake would be very good. Here we go.
You mean it's Yonik from those?
You use this one.
Hey,
It's hanging over here. But
I didn't get a
look at the
piece of
sauerkraut.
that.
Rabbi. It's hanging over here.
Okay, we'll do this. We'll do
Same.
this. Hold on.
It's more fun with cake. Get the build.
Everything's
Yeah.
more fun with this.
Hey, hold on. Let me move the. How do I turn this camera?
I'm saying the ones on the side are Yonik from the ones that are right above it because it's Yonik from those right there.
I want to. Oh yeah. What am I doing? Here. See this cake? Not trying to tempt anybody, but here, see this cake? This is the upper one. This is the lower one. Right? Can you see it? There's an upper one and a lower one. Right? It's growing out of the side. It's growing out of the side. So Rameyatain is, well, this guy can just remove his dirt and then there's nothing growing from there. And that's Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yehuda says this guy could fill up, right? He could just take his...
The raining?
My hand. He could just fill it in like that, right? Now it's filled in. So now there's no way it's going to grow. All right. So what we're saying is that they both have a taina. So the bottom line is it's growing out of this guy. Since it's coming out of the side right here, so it's growing out of this guy's thing. If he removes his stuff, so then it's over.
But if that other guy fills in, it's just going to grow through the
Right,
dirt.
so it might-
here to come out of his.
It might. Okay, I don't know. I hope that was clear. I hope that's clear. But anyways, Amar Reb Shimon, Kolsha. So Reb Shimon has a pshara, right? He has a compromise. Kolsha elyon yachal lifshaydes yadav elitol harehu shaloi. He says basically it belongs to the upper guy. But as long as the upper guy, I guess let's go back to the video.
Why don't they ever suggest Yachloku?
That's where Reb Shimon is sort of. I mean, why didn't they?
Why don't we just say whatever you
That's a
have
good
there? Just divide it.
Yeah, that's a
Wouldn't
good
that
question.
have been easier? Like,
I hear.
okay, we don't know what it is.
No, Yachleka is not an easy answer.
Why? They each have a good taina. They each have a good taina. I could take away my dirt. You could fill up your dirt. Both valid points. So just divide it and we're done.
Until Rameir comes along and says, the lice is growing out of my land. What time does the bottom one have against that? It's
He's just saying it's
growing
a
out of the land of the upper one.
Mamana Mutta B'Savik, that's what he's saying. Okay, whatever, I hear. Anyways,
We always try to figure out a suffix before we say anything
Right.
about suffix.
Anyways.
There's not a suffix.
Right. I hear that. So anyway, if the guy's standing up here, depending on how far over he has to bend, if he could reach it, it goes to him. What he can't reach goes to him, which is sort of like a pshara. Sort of like a pshara. Right? Anyways. So Kol She'el Yochel Lifshit is Yodev Elito, he could stick out his hand and take it. Harei Shaleh belongs to him. Bashar Shel Taftin, and the rest, it goes to the lower guy. Fine. So Omar Rava, Bikaroi Kuli Amalei Pligi de Elyon Havi. So now we're gonna clarify the machlokes. By the ikar, meaning the root, everybody holds it goes to the upper guy because that's where the roots are growing out of. It's growing out of the side, like it's the side of that top brownie. So it goes to the upper guy. Keep pligi b'noifai. The thing is, what about the leaves or the branches? B'meir savar shadi noifai v'asa ikra. You throw the branch after you put the branch after the ikar. Review the savar loyamrin and shadi noifai v'asa ikra. You do not throw the leaves after the ikar. Right? V'azil tamayu. We'll go according to the reasoning. The Tanya hayotzim and ageza. We're up the second line up from the bottom. So yotzim and ageza u'minashrashim. When if what comes out from the geza is from the trunk or from the roots, harei u'lusha balakarka, that belongs to balakarka. This is normal where a guy sold his tree. Back then, it seems like they sold trees in the middle of the land. For whatever reason, they sold trees, right? I mean, you don't own the land, you just own the tree. So now you have a tree trunk, and then the stuff growing out of the trunk. So who gets, does that belong to the owner of the field? Does that belong to the owner of the tree? So the Brisa says, whatever comes out from the gezan, from the shrashim, hare elu shel balakarka, that belongs to the owner of the land. What comes out of the trunk, right, goes to the bala ilan. What comes out of the roots, that's the balakarka, right? So he's holding somewhere in the middle. On Tamar Aleph, on to today's daf. That's another case. Then the third case, the Tanan Nami Gabi Arlo Ki Agabna. We learned by Arla the same thing. Arla again is the first 3 years. You don't have to, you're not allowed to eat the fruit. And then the 4th year, you go bring it up to your shalai. So it's not gabi Arla ki agavne ilan hayotzim min hageza min hashrashin. So let's say you have a tree that started growing from a trunk or a root of a tree. Now, is that considered like it's grandfathered in from the tree? So Mamela, there's no Arla, or do we say it's a new growth and needs 3 years? So Yotz min hageza min hashrashin chayev ba'arla divrei Rameh. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer min hageza potter, from the trunk he's potter because that's part of the tree. Min hashrashin chayev, but from the roots he's chayev. Why? Because that's considered a new growth. It was in the ground, and now there's a new growth from the ground. It's no different than a new tree, and therefore you have to keep Arla. Okay, so why do we need 2 cases to say the exact same thing, right? So basically, again, Rameir is going with that it's considered it's not considered part of the ground, and Rabbi Yehuda holds it depends. If it's from the trunk, yes. If it's from the roots, not. But we need both cases. So we said the first case, Rabbi Yehuda, there Rabbi Yehuda says Mishum de Mamayna, because it's a case of Mamonis case, right? So by Mamonis, because we're trying to figure out who owns the tree, right? If it's part of the tree, then it goes to the owner of the tree. If it's part of the ground, then it goes to the owner of the field. So Mamela, since it's a Mammon issue, we have to get down to the bottom of it. But by Arla, which is also I'm a Maidele Rameir, so maybe we say he be Maided to Rameir because you can be more machmer. Meaning, we said this Yisoid before. It's a very important Yisoid in the halachas of Choshen Mishpat. You can't just be makel, because when you're makel for one, you're machmer for the other. So there's no way out by Choshen Mishpat. You can't just say, we'll just be machmer. But maybe by Arla, we'll be machmer. Because why not? It's a suffix, maybe it's a suffix that rises, depends where it is. But why not be machmer? So maybe he would be moed to Rameir. Be it nor come Rameir. So maybe that's where Rameir's machmer, because you could be machmer by Arla, but he aim a moed to Rabbi Yehuda. But by that case of Arla, by the case of the owning the field, maybe by the Rabbi Yehuda says moed to Rabbi Yehuda. So tzrichi, that's why we need both cases. Oh, the hot dogs just came in. It's about time for the same. Sasha, I'm sorry. Amar Reb Shimon, Kol she'elin yachal lifshit. So Reb Shimon said that you're anybody that's able to be paishet it, meaning Reb Shimon said that you can, whoever the upper guy, whatever he can reach by sticking out his hand, becomes his. But what he can't reach goes to the lower guy. So Amrit ve'Reb Yana ubavat shaloi yaenas. It's as long as he doesn't make himself an einus, meaning as long as he doesn't have to stretch. So boy Rav Anan, v'itamer of Yirmiyah, magia l'noifay v'ema magia le'ikroi. So let's say the again we're saying how far the top guy reaches. But let's say he can reach the leaves, but he can't reach the roots. Right, the roots are much further away from him. It's growing up, let's say, like a vine up the side of this brownie. Right, so it's going up the side. So he can reach the leaves because the leaves grow higher, but he can't reach the root. Who does that go to? Does that go to the upper guy? Because Lamaisa, he could reach the leaves, or we say, no, you can't get to you're not getting to the root of the issue. No pun intended. So Mamela, he doesn't go to him. Or now this next one, the Gra says we're not gyrus. Magila ikreve magila noifai mai. If he could reach the root, but he can't reach the leaves, how is that possible? If you could reach, right, the leaves grow out of the root. So how can you not reach the leaves, but reach the root?
No, sometimes you can reach the root now, the leaves go up.
No, down. He's up.
He's up, so the leaves
down.
go down.
So that's what Rashi says. Rashi says the leaves are going down. The Gra says we're not gyrus this.
Okay.
All right, that's that Aleph. Either way, Teiku, the Gemara leaves off with the Teiku. Fine. So Amar Ephraim Safra, Talmidish of Reish Lakish, Ephraim Safra, the Talmud of Reish Lakish, Mishum Reish Lakish, send the name of Reish Lakish, Allah is Reb Shimon, the Allah is like Reb Shimon. Amru Kamei de Shvar Malka. So they said in the name of Shvar Malka, and what is Shvar Malka? Who is Shvar Malka? He's a guy. Right? Rashi and Taisus both discuss this. but he was a baki b'halachas.
So
Right?
therefore we follow him.
So no, which
Therefore we consider his opinion.
it seems
We
like
care
yeah.
about his
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Right? Now he says. Now Rashi also brings up shot that it's not referring to Shvar Malka that we know, but where it's referring to Shmuel. Right? So, okay, so that's obviously a easier shot.
So Mark is learning Torah?
It seems like he learned, but it doesn't mean we taught him Torah. Doesn't mean we taught him Torah. He decided to learn Torah on his own. You can't do anything about that. Halacha, right? The shaila is why, if it's Takash for Malka, so why are we saying something to shame him?
We shame a guy. Why are we quoting a guy?
Right. So what's
maybe so.
I don't know. So anyway, so Amru Kamed the Shormalka, Amr Lahu. No. They said it in front of Shvarmalka. Amr Lahu and Shvarmalka said to them, Apirian Namte the Reb Shimon. We're going to give an Apirian to him. Chayin Shalana. We're very happy with him. Right? We're very happy.
Maybe they didn't tell him. They said it in front of him. He was listening in on the shir or something. But they weren't telling him the halacha.
No,
that makes more sense.
He responded back.
Right. He's allowed to give compliments.
Right, but the question is why they teaching Torah if he's in the room? No?
No, you're allowed to teach, you're allowed to learn to, I think like Rabbi Yashiv had a shiloh with the shiurim in Eretz Yisrael, like they blast them on the radio and like maybe goyim will listen. They said as long as Jews are listening to a shir, if a goy comes and sits in, it's okay.
And in Shiva means you can't teach Torah because the goyim are walking around cleaning.
No, they're not paying attention.
No, but he's here, and we're even quoting him. We're even quoting him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's not in the thing when he speaks sometimes. They make sure he's in the room.
How many in Phoenix in the Thursday night shir? There's a guy Ben Noach. He comes every Thursday night to the shir. He sits. He listens the whole shir.
And they let him. I guess they let him.
Yeah, because of what Rabbi Yashiv said. You're not teaching Torah to a guy. You're giving a shir, and the guy comes to listen.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
I'm not sure why this has to be teaching Torah to a guy. They were by his courts and they were discussing this legal jurisprudence.
Yeah.
He added, exactly. Shimon said, whatever. This is how we learn from the Torah.
Right. I hear you.
We have two outside. Shalom was just here. Karen's is here. So that should be 10.
Yeah, so get him in here. Let's
smoking cigars.
So tell him to put it down for a second.
Put the cigars down. Rabbi said. Let's go.
Make sure that they know it's just temporary.
We need a minion in here for it.
There's 2 guys inside.
No,
where's
your son Shalom?
I don't know. In the back, I guess.
How many people got here? Just to say, I did cover my Gemara.
Okay, good.
We just finished.
Do we need a minion in here with the hadron?
What? I don't know. You tell me.
Do you know what a hadron is?
That's something that you do a Hail Mary.
We are starting a new Masechta.
Oh, yeah. I heard. What's his face says there's a lot of short dafim for Bava.
So you're thinking that means you're harder. So does that mean you're thinking of joining?
Yeah. I used to be.
Used to be what?
Of course, I remember
you
having at 6 o'clock in the morning.
1 second.
By the way, also, what was the guy in the band? What's his name? He also doesn't come anymore because he says too early.
Just for
my kids are going to sleep.
Who's in the band?
I remember I was on the top when you were on
at 10 o'clock.
So I was never on a time.
And the other one that I had in my locker.
That's just
9:45, 9:30, 9, 8, 7. Now we're at 6 o'clock.
We're not at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But you're welcome to come.
I just came home with 2 hours call. I don't have time.
I go to a shir 5 o'clock in the morning. You're welcome to come if you want.
Yeah, they're coming. Parents coming. Mother's coming.
What's up, yo?
Okay, we'll start the hadron. Hadron Allah, Chabayis Aliyah Slik Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Hadron Allah. Are we saying it along? I'm saying it along.
Take the bottle away from you. I'm only drinking because it says Bava Metzia on the bottle.
Hadron Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Hadron Allah Titan Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Titan Allah. Leis Nishem Menach Masechta Bava Metzia. Nishem Menach Leibam Adim Leibam Das. Hadron Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Hadron Allah Titan Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Titan Allah. Leis Nishem Menach Masechta Bava Metzia. Leis Nishem Menach Leibam Adim Leibam Das. Hadron Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Hadron Allah Titan Allah Masechta Bava Metzia. Titan Allah. Leis Nishem Menach Masechta Bava Metzia. Leis Nishem Menach Leibam Adim Leibam Das. Here's some of the Nechad in Elenu. Belaya Vesena Shatei Saras from the Sena Bala Mazel. See Manu Lan Maba. Hanina bar Papa, Rami Papa, Nachman bar Papa, Achai bar Papa, Abba Mari bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Surga bar Papa, Adar bar Papa, Dor bar Papa. I don't know the name of the Saras, but Pinu Fiu, Sam Kabesi Sovni, Kolano Nachman Tzetsena, Tzetsam Kabesi So. Kolano Yede Shmech Olam Yede Sarasach, Maya Vesich Maveni, Sasach Gilam, he leave some Kukach Alman Layevish, Lelam Nashka, Fudach, Givam Kisani, Rochata Adenam Den Kukach, Amen, 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 Salov Ed. Why do Manach Lufanacha Denay Lena Velavis and Shasam to Kalkan Miyash, Magish with Sam to Kalkan Miyash Chronis. Shalom Mashkim Vemashkim, one Mashkim, the Britar Vemashkim, the Barmatin, one Amen, Amen, comes Harvey, Amen, comes. I know that's him, not. I know that's him, Chayal, Rotsum, the Vershachas, she never bought him to redeem the Vershachas, and she don't remember you may when you have to walk. Here at some of Fanacha, then I like Shemesh as a time, Simon Sef, but Metzia came to Azrain, the Haskim, Masef, this is Farm, Achim, the Simon, Dulma, Dulam, Dish, Pavalas, the time is called the Samat, the Sekha Biava. Was Huskalat, and Amiram, Sami, the Chamiyama, the Zari, Shalai, Thomas, Shatem, Hizari, Zari, Adalam, the Sky Viv, Salacha, Tacha, Isach, the Shach, Tishmar, Lacha, Vakitzai, so he, Tisichecha. Ki Yivor, V, Yerbu Yamecha, Yasiv, Lachash, nice time, Irech, Yam, Yamina, the Smila, Aisha, Bechavai, Adonai, Islam, Yitain. And
just grab them, do it to the street.
Is there anyone else smoking out?
Where's Simcha? Go call Simcha. Call Simcha.
They have enough. These kids are becoming lifeguards. Put them to the test. No?
Where did Parrots disappear to?
Parrots is
In the
9.
kitchen.
Parrots is
He's only
9.
You want to see if there's anyone
He's
else?
not
9
here.
We're
We're 7 right now.
I asked him to call Simcha.
We're 9.
All right, Seattle, I'm
What?
going out. No shuttle shop, no will come in there.
No, Lonnie just called him.
No, it's not here. You left.
Mezog and a Kaddish.
We're getting
Can
10
you come in
people.
with Simcha? We need a minion for to say Kaddish, please, by Bobby.
How many people have to be on Zoom to count?
ASAP,
That's what I'm
please.
saying. We did it during the whole COVID, right? COVID was allowed, but not anymore.
Oh, he's saying he's by the bris.
Well, this is a blue state, so technically.
There's only 6 guys in the year on the Zoom. You're waiting for another 4 guys.
Just one more in
I
person.
women starve everybody on the Zoom.
That much we're not willing to do.
We can make it 5 now. Don't
So,
worry.
I have a special question for
Yeah.
you. So, this is for my wife.
Your little son.
So,
Oh.
my in-laws were not for a while
That's the Malka.
wearing swim dresses.
Close the drawer.
All right, parents, we have a minion.
That's
Oh, look at this guy. 1 month out. Oh, we got more. Oh, look at this. Okay, good. Parents, we don't need you
it's
anymore.
okay.
Yeah. If there's a lot of men, then no. We ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
10 in here with Parrots.
Parents can hear, but we don't say.
If it's more than
Skadav Iskadei Shemei Rabba. Yamadu Asid Aschados Ach Yom Isai Lasag Lechai Am Levinu Ekarta Dushan Shachla Hechal Begavei Lameka Pulchana Nuchra Mei Aro Lasav Pulchana Dishmai Lasrev Yam Lechucha Berichu Chusevi Karei Chai Chani Vim Chani V'chai Tuchavei Yisrael Bagala Bazman Karivim Ruam Mei Kei Shemei Rabba Barach Olam Lo Lemei Olam Ayo Yisbarach Yishabach Yisbarach Yismam Yisnasev Yisador Yisalev Yishalo Shemei Dekucha Berichu Leila Mekabel Chasav Shirasat Ushmasav Nechem Asad Amiram Yom Avim Ruam Mei I saw Ramon Tamidin Valcom Call Tamidei Tamidin Val Commandos Commanders Divasa the Vichalasava Yela and Luchan Shalom Rabba China Bchesa Barachim Bchai Rich Mazan Rich for Konoman Kadava and Vishmayava Rabim Ruam Mei Yesham Raman Tishmai Bchaim Tovim Alain Vakal Yisravim Ruam Mei I say Shalom in my mouth, I say Shalom Aleinu Vakal Yisravim Ruam Mei Mazel Tov
Not anymore.
Amen, but you too.
Hey, what time tomorrow?
Tomorrow should L'chayra be also 7
Danish.
7:10ish. But I'll post it. I'm probably driving up to the country, so who knows? But,
Yeah. All right.
all right, Zagazut to everybody, unless you want to stay on. But
I'll tell you the cult of.
So what do I say?
Zagazut. What? You can say fine if there's a lot of people.
And if there's a lot of people.
Hey, bring some of that cake up with you.
I should.
And if there's a lot of people.
What?
That's a good cake.
I'm Nate.
My favorite to watch.